week 6. And there's a week full of gigantic football games. And week 6, we're starting to get to the mid-season. And in the mid-season is where we separate the men from the boys by the price of their toys. And week 6 in a league where they play for pay. And I have a nice slate of games this week, and I'm going to try to handicap the spreads. You know what I do. And in a season where my New York football Giants are hot, alright? The Cinderella story of the league right now. And the Miz is riding along with them. And the Miz is on fire himself. What'd you say? The Miz is on fire? That's right. Hey. 23-6 on the season with the spreads and wins. I've helped you make some. And I want you to help me make some for myself. And hit the thumbs up. Subscribe. Comment. I do this for fun. I do it for you. Friday, Mrs. Picks for a week 6. And let's go. Let's go. We'll lower the music a little bit. In the NFL for week 6, pick number 1. The Cincinnati Bengals are starting to come around. They started off slow this season. Maybe a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover. Maybe they're just not as good as the team we thought we saw last year. Maybe it's a little bit of everything. But the Cincinnati Bengals are playing the Saints. I'm sorry, the Saints are an unproven team to me. It's not those Saints anymore. Cincinnati's -1.5. And you got to be out of your mind not to take the Cincinnati Bengals here. The Bengals are going to go in there. Their defense is starting to suffocate teams. They played a really tight, strong, physical game with the Ravens. The Ravens came out on top 19-17. But Cincinnati showed you in that game that they could hang with the top. Give me the Cincinnati Bengals. As simple as that. No reason to overthink it. -1.5. You can take the -1.5. If you want, you could just take the Bengals straight up. Cincinnati wins this game. On to game number 2. I'm going to go down south to Atlanta. The Atlanta Falcons are playing a feisty brand of football this year. Alright? The Atlanta Falcons are hanging around. They're putting up fights. They're feisty. And if you don't bring your A game, you'll lose. The Atlanta Falcons are home. The 49ers are coming in. The 49ers are one of the top teams in the league. They're a very strong, physical, well-coached football team. And as I said over the summer to a couple of my Niner friends, the best thing you could do is don't shop Jimmy G and keep him for one more year. Because the kid Lance ain't ready. He ain't got much experience. And what happens if he gets injured? You have a Super Bowl level team that'll go right in the toilet because no quarterback. Well, they did just that. They kept Jimmy G, and it's proven to be big time for them. By no means is Jimmy G one of the best QBs in the league, but what he is he's a winner, and he has plenty of experience, and he manages the Shanahan offense really well as they play a physical brand with the run game and the throws to Kittle. They have 2 strong receivers in Ayuk and Debo, and what they do is play a physical football game with that O-line and that top-level defense in the league and wear you down. The 49ers should go into this game and win, but here's the thing. This is a trap game. Classic NFL trap game where the 49ers could be looking ahead. They just beat the Rams. They're looking ahead to Kansas City. And they easily can walk into Atlanta and just not be at their top form. Be a little lazy. Atlanta is +6 at home, and I'm going to take the points. Take the Atlanta Falcons with the +6. If you're smart, you buy a point and make it a touchdown. +7. Atlanta with the points. The Niners should watch out. This is a trap game. I still expect the Niners would somehow pull this game out. But it wouldn't surprise me, as I've seen in the past, the 49er teams that are real good have had this exact type of game where they have a letdown on the road, especially flying east. I'm expecting a close game. You take the points with Atlanta. I think you're safe at +6. You buy a point +7. Again, I think it'll be a close game. The Niners are strong enough to find a way to pull it out, but it is a trap game. Number 3, the disaster of the Carolina Panthers are going to fly all the way to the West Coast to play an angry Rams team that's been kind of struggling this year. Hey, the Rams coming off a bad loss to the Niners, I believe, a week ago. The Rams are -10. Some people might think this is a lot for a team that's been struggling a little bit and having problems with the O-line. Guess what? The Panthers are a mess. They just fired their coach. They might be getting back Mayfield. I don't care. Mayfield is just not good. I don't think he's got much longer in this league. -10. And if you're a guy that plays the games with the points, you could buy a point here and make it -9. The take is the Rams. The Rams will blow Carolina out of this game. This game has all the makings of a Rams get right on offense game. The Rams blow Carolina out 30-13. Game number 4. And it's one of the top 2 or 3 biggest games of the week. Your Kansas City Chiefs, who everybody thought was going to be done this year, not the same. No Tyreek Hill. Once again, I laughed at all those statements. Mr. Andy Reid, jolly old man, and Mahomes are once again doing their thing and having their way with that AFC West. And the Kansas City Chiefs are a home dog. The Buffalo Bills are coming into town. We all know the Buffalo Bills have been anointed the top team in the league and are expected to make a run to the Super Bowl. But there's one other team that would be in their way, and that's this Kansas City Chiefs team. And Kansas City Chiefs stole a game for them in the AFC title game. Not the AFC title game, in the playoff game before the AFC title game last year. A lot of people make the case the Bills should have won. Shoulda, woulda. It's who won, and it's not who shoulda won. The Kansas City Chiefs are +2.5 at home. You're giving me the Chiefs as a home dog. I believe these two teams will meet each other nonetheless in the playoffs this year again. Possibly the AFC title game. So the Bills will have another shot anyway. But I think this game is marked for both teams. And I'm going to stay with the home team. In these type of games, I'm big on the home team. Call me old school. Kansas City's +2.5 at home. You buy a half, you make it 3. You buy a point if you're one of those guys. It's 3.5. Kansas City +3 points. +3.5. You take the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs with the points. I'd make it 3.5 and take Kansas City. But you know the Miz is going to give you the win. Because I don't shy away from putting myself out there. The Kansas City Chiefs will beat the Buffalo Bills yet again in Kansas City. And they will walk off the field with a lot of animosity, both teams, knowing that they're staring at each other at the AFC title game later this winter. It is what it is. I tell you, Kansas City wins this game outright. Another monster game, and you go over to the NFC. The Dallas Cowboys and their backup star quarterback is going to Philadelphia for an NFC East showdown. Yes, the NFC East is beast again. The best division in the NFL with 3 teams with top records. The Dallas Cowboys are +6.5. They're going into Philly. Philly's 5-0. Dallas is 4-1. Dallas has one of the top defenses in football. The Eagles have one of the top offenses in football. Hurts is having a big year. The Eagles are cocky about it. Dallas has two animals off the edges in Lawrence and Parsons, and nobody knows how to deal with them. Their running game is strong, and they got a very smart, sophisticated quarterback. Confident, makes no turnovers and no mistakes, and knows that as long as he manages the game and doesn't put his team in harm's way, the running game and the defense will go get it. And that's been the outcome this year for Dallas. Dallas Cowboys are plus 6.5 in Philly. These two teams are going to meet later in the year in Dallas again. And once again, you know me. I'm big on these big games. We're going with the home team. Especially when you play each other twice in a year. I will take the home game in each one of these games. I will take the Eagles at home this game. I will take Dallas later in the year at home. Plus, this game is setting up with a different storyline. Cooper Rush will quarter again. And I can just see this is the game he finally loses. As we all know, he's doomed for a loss. He's 5-0 as a Dallas starter between last year and this year. I could see him losing, which sets up an easy way to bring Dak back the following week. Perfect for Dallas. All nice and comfortable in Dallas land until Dak doesn't prove himself. But it sets up the doorway to bring Dak back off a loss. Look, you buy a half a point. You can't go wrong with the Cowboys plus 7. But I don't want to play two sides of the fence here, right? So I'm going to take the Eagles. I'd buy a point the other way. Okay? And I'm going to take the Eagles at minus 5.5. You buy a point the other way because I can't play two sides of the fence. You could easily take Dallas at 7 or 7.5 to cover the spread. But I'll tell you right now, the Eagles win this game. I'm betting the Eagles to win this game outright in Philadelphia at home and take their record up to 6-0. The two local teams are having a big year. The Jets are 3-2. The Giants are 4-1. Let's go to the local New York tri-state area. Green Bay Packers are coming off of a very, very rough loss to the New York Football Giants over in London. It was a predominantly Green Bay stadium, and they were shocked as the Giants held Aaron Rodgers and the great offensive Green Bay Packers to 0 in the second half. Once again, Dabble and Wink schemed up a great game plan for the second half as they've been doing all year. And the Packers came out of that with a loss, and Aaron Rodgers angrier than ever. And the Green Bay Packers are coming back home to Lambeau. And I'm sorry. Even though the Jets have had a good year and they're coming off a big win, 40 points. The Jets have talent and they have a real offense. But their defense still lacks and has major problems. And sometimes in this league in a season, you just know there's certain weeks where you're walking into the wrong place at the damn wrong time. And the Jets are walking into a hornet's nest in Lambeau, where the weather's supposed to be a little colder, and I don't think that's going to bother either team. But what bothers the Packers is that they've been spitted on this week because they lost to the New York Giants, a team they should have handled easily, especially with their 17-3 lead. The Packers are coming home angry. Aaron Rodgers is going to have those receivers and that offense ready. They're going to play football. It's going to be nothing but focused football. I think the Packers are going to be a machine, and I think the Jets are walking into a damn hornet's nest. And the Jets are not ready for this type of game yet. Because teams that are ready for this type of game, it's because they have a big-time defense. The Green Bay Packers are minus 7.5. A lot of people will tell you, the Packers are not that good this year. I don't think their offense is working. They got issues. Their defense is pretty good. It's okay. It's good. But their offense having issues. The receivers are too young. Rodgers and the receivers are not on the same page. And they kind of forget about using Aaron Jones, who's a real good running back. Well, not this week. The Green Bay Packers will lay the smacking on the Jets. And I don't say this because I'm a Giants guy. Because I picked the Jets to win the game outright last week. The Green Bay Packers are going to play an angry brand of football. And they're going to put it on the Jets. And I don't think the Jets are a match for them right now. Not this week on an urgent Green Bay team at home in front of an angry crowd and an angry Rodgers. You get vintage Rodgers and his receivers this week. You're going to get a lot of Aaron Jones. Packers are minus 7.5. Take it. The Green Bay Packers will blow the Jets out this week. I'm telling you right now, the Green Bay Packers, 30-17. Green Bay Packers. And then finally, the New York Football G-Men. The Giants are 4-1, and they're the Cinderella team of the season. And the media loves it, but they also don't know how to handle it. The Giants are drawing eyes from all over the country. They sent a message in London last week. We are not those Giants anymore, and it's not about luck. We're going to come take it to the Packers, and we're going to win this game, and there's not going to be a doubt about how we did it. And Daniel Jones has become a warrior. He plays his guts out. And if you leave him an inch, he's going to bust that door wide open. The man's not afraid to go up the middle, run over linebackers, even with one ankle. He's delivering laser-sharp, accurate passes over the middle with a bloody hand. And Barkley is the MVP of this league. I don't care what anybody says. Because when you watch Barkley right now, he's doing things that Barry Sanders used to do. Put the entire team on my back and I'm going to destroy the other team. Put all the weight on me. 26 says, I got you. And he's got you, and he's got you plus some. Barkley's an animal to be reckoned with. And Bellingham's starting to step up as a tight end. And Daniel Jones is driving 90-something odd yards without any real receiver outside of Slayton and a tight end. And that was when Barkley was out of the game for a period of time on that whole drive with an injury. And boy, had I been calling Slayton's name for a long time. And I got a shout out, take my hat off to Pat. Both of us were big on Slayton all year last year and all year this year. We were demanding to put this guy on the field. Slayton's the type of guy that gets better with repetitions. He's got to be on the field. He's got to catch a couple of balls. You can't just throw him one ball every 3 weeks and think he's going to come up with it. You got to get him into the flow, mid-season form, catches. He runs a good route. And right now, Slayton's the best damn receiver on the New York Football Giants because Galladay is a lost cause. And I honestly don't know where Tony is. I thought I saw him on a milk carton the other day, so I took the picture. I don't think Tony's interested in playing, and I don't buy that his hamstrings are hurting him for this damn long. And if it is his hamstrings, then he ain't going to have a career. And at the rate we're going, Tony won't be here next year. But you know who's going to be here and he's going to play this week? Robinson out of Kentucky. A kid that could do things over the middle, end around, screens, catches, and you can even send him up the slot deep. And I think that as the season goes on, Robinson's going to step up for us, and it's going to help open up other receivers. The Ravens are for real. Lamont Jackson is one of the best players in football, and arguably an MVP this year. I love the kid, and I used to laugh when people said he can't grow. Lamont Jackson has 10 touchdowns from the pocket, the most in the NFL this year. Lamar Jackson has a 64% complete percentage rate in the NFL in his career. And he's doing that on a team that doesn't value wide receivers at all. At all. And we all know he's lightning fast and very elusive. The man always come up with a big play in the fourth quarter to win the game. He's going to find a way to win a game. And to me, that's an MVP caliber quarterback. And he's dangerous. And if the Giants don't contain him, and we don't put up some points this week, and you leave the door open for Lamar at the end of this game, you could damn be sure with the ball in his hand with 4 or 5 minutes left, even 2 minutes left, this guy's going to make a big play that's going to eat you alive. Lamar Jackson's a beast. And right now, him and Josh Allen are the MVPs of this league. The stadium's going to be loud. This is a big-time game, as big as a game as the Giants played since 2016 at home. And we've been talking about home advantage this year. And here's where we're going to show it again. right? And the Giants are 2 out of 3 at home this year, and here comes a big-time game, arguably one of the biggest one in years, and I know the fan base is psyched, and so am I. And I can't wait. 1 o'clock on Sunday. The New York Giants are at home versus the Baltimore Ravens. Hey, the Giants are +6. I think this is going to be a beast of a game. I think the coaches have this team well prepared. It's the most well-coached team in the NFL with the least amount of penalties. Number 1 in special teams. We're a top 7 defense. And our running game is second to none in the NFL between Barkley, Jones, and Breida. And if we could start get a couple of quick passes or end arounds to Robinson, this could start to open up. This game, I'd like to see the Giants take a couple shots deep, namely Slayton, at least twice. And I would pull for a special teams trick play by the Giants because they might need it. And I would love to see the Giants with the running game run a flea flicker somewhere in the second half on a first down with Barkley up the middle, turn around, flip it back to Jones, send Slayton deep up the field, and Robinson on a post. And you could catch this team because we haven't ran that play yet this year. And we have the running game to do so. I think the Ravens are going to concentrate on the RPO, so Jones is not going to be able to escape so easily this week. He's going to have to make some plays with his arm from the pocket, and I think the Giants can catch the team by doing that. Go back to a little bit of old-school passing football. We'll always stick with the run, obviously, but hit the play action where Jones stays in the pocket this week. He's going to have to protect the ball. The Ravens' defense has gotten better the last game or so. I think they're starting to find themselves. I think this is going to be a defensive war. The Giants are +6. They're going to cover the 6. You know what? I'm very worried about this game because Lamont Jackson, and I completely respect Lamont Jackson in every aspect of the game. But I'm going to be a homer. And I'm usually not a homer. And believe me, I'm not doing this with total confidence because this game can easily go 1 point each way. And it will come down to the end of the game. I believe the final team with the ball, it's going to come down to that. I'm going to be a homer for a week. And I haven't been that all year. As I took the Packers to win last week and I was wrong. This was the toughest game of the season until we go up against the Eagles twice and the Cowboys again. The Giants will pull this game out at the end. And I believe it's going to be either on a Gano field goal or a Ravens missed field goal, even though the Ravens have a great kicking team. And the kicking teams between these two teams are among the top of the league. And special teams is going to play a monster role in this game. Field position, punting, field goal kicking. The New York Giants pull this game out 23-22. Again, this game could go either way. And I'm not telling you with any amazing conviction that the Giants will win this game. I'm just going with my heart for one game. And with my record this year, I've earned it. Giants 23, Baltimore Ravens 22. And it turns the league upside down as the entire country Monday will be going gaga and foaming at the mouth about the Giants and this coaching staff. And Dabo and Wink, you can raise them on a pedestal right now, especially if they ever got this game. And that would put the Giants in a total driver's seat for a playoff run this year. But either way, you can take the 6 points, and I think you'd be safe. This was Week 6 picks. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed your week. This Sunday's slate of games are some of the best we've had in a long, long time. Kick back, grab yourself a drink, a big bag of chips, a cigar, and enjoy the day. Miz.